really scary standing in isolation from everybody else, and that's what I feared most in my life. The fact that I wasn't part of a group.
Why is that?
Well, it's when you're a kid, you have like John Wayne, you have Steve McQueen, and if you're a slant-eyed Chinese kid, and if you happen to be slightly effeminate, it really drives knives into your stomach. There's part of me which wants to be kind of, the stoic man, buddy type thing. And there's part of me which is really very gentle.
Which part's easier for you to accept? Or?
I think they're both equally uncomfortable. It's easier for me to be a robot, I think. And that's one way out. The idea of flowing, of being graceful, of yielding is really probably pretty terrifying.
What do you mean yielding?
Yielding in the sense of expressing feelings of comfort, of warmth, of desire, of sensuality. You see, the sensual man is probably a faggot, according to a lot of images that I have in my mind. It was all very innocent, and I was very interested. I was sitting in this auditorium for part 3 of Kenneth Clark's Civilization series. It was in the dark, and somebody sat down right next to me, and it was really outrageous. Now, he put his knee, really close to mine, and I don't know how it happened, but our legs just crossed over, and his leg was really, really warm. It was electric, and I responded, spontaneously, kind of.
You were turned on.
I was, as the expression goes, turned on. It was my first turn on. It's probably the first, the first and last of its kind too.
Was it the first time you realized you had gay feelings?
Well, it was the first time I ever had physical contact with another man, and I went back to see like parts 4 and 5. I have a lot to learn, really. And I think a lot of it has to do with like giving up the fact that growing up was really painful for me. You go through a lot of hurt when somebody calls you a Chinaman. And so that you're, in one sense, more able to deal with somebody calling you a fag. You can spring more easily and say, I'm a person, I am me. Probably the most comfortable in the long run for me is to be neither straight nor gay. It's so easy for a gay Asian coming out to say, well, okay, there is the gay counterculture. Let me start to go to gay movies, to gay bars, to pick up gay literature, to become interested in gay liberation. And I think that's fine, but there also is a point where you have to establish your own individual boundaries. One has to be careful to remember that one is oneself, and one does not rely on these individual labels for support.